And another question, like how do you like a lot of people probably want to know like you to maintain like longevity, because a lot of engineers came and went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like how you was able to like stay relevant like for like this long. Like that's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
You like the Vince Carter of engineering.
my dude. Probably just studying, man. I love it. Like I love it. I love sound. I love the science of it. Like just studying, man. I study everybody, like YouTube pages, techniques, just plugins, staying on top of stuff like that. I just study a lot, man. Like I came and try to set a sound for myself, and then try to grow the sound. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's just like as time move, not getting stuck. I think DJing is one of the main things that was like you see the music move, so you're not stuck. Like we ain't trying to sound like 96 no more. You know what I mean? We trying to sound like 2021. Like
yeah, because I'm like, like for like Jay-Z to be relevant this long, like he came out in the 90s, like like you know what I'm saying? Like he'd last, you know what I mean? Like test the time, like
from telling the truth. From telling this truth. That's it. Tell the truth. Like be who you are. That's the whole thing. It's just like whatever it is, be who you are, tell your truth, and then just keep growing. But we blessed because we got a solid team around us of grown men. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like everybody understand their role and understand who they are.
yeah,
it's the same thing I was talking about with the Howard thing, where it's just like a group of people where it ain't no hate, and if somebody critique you, it's to make you better. It ain't to like it's to make you better. So it's just that thing of keeping it that real. That's really what lasts the time. But I'm telling you, man, it's the truth. Like, besides the fact that Son is dumb nice. I mean, like, you can't skip over that fact.
He's still nice.
So that's
funny
like
thing is, he was talking about stuff like on his first album that's going on now. Like, damn, man, like
predicted it.
Like he predicted. Like he really like lasted. Like he really like outworked everybody.
But that was the AZ thing when AZ was talking about visualize. That's really what that means. It's like, think of it. What does success look like for you? Where do you want to be? What's important to you? How you want your life to be? And then you got clear goals. Otherwise, you just running in place. You exerting a bunch of energy, thinking you know what I mean? Yo, I'm out here working, but you just really running in place unless you got a specific goal as to like, yo, I gotta do this. And once I knock that down, then here's the next step, and then here's the next step. And that's gonna allow me to do these sort of things versus just like, I see a lot of people just exerting a lot of energy, you know what I mean? And they be feeling like, yo, I'm doing mad shit. And it's like, fam, you really running in place. Like,
nah, because I already know. I could just imagine what y'all studio session be like. And I know it's probably just you and him in there.
Yeah, nah, it'd be short, bro. It don't be a whole bunch of, cause again, he's a professional. So he think of what he want to do. It's not like,
yeah, because they had one thing y'all had like on MTV, like he was sitting like next to you, and he was just like rapping to himself. You know what I'm saying?
Because he don't write it down, so he's just thinking of what he's saying. You know what I mean? That it's a process of Big used to do it, he do it.
Yeah, nah, that's how I do my music. I do it like I like you know what I'm saying. I do it off the top, like you know what I'm saying. It's not freestyling, but it's like I'm mental right.
Right. To me, I think it's better because then when you write,
I feel like your music come out better like that. And I ain't gonna lie, like when I first was starting as a little kid, I remember it was an interview like on Rap City with with Cameron. And he was like, yo, how was the process making your first album? He was like, it was hard because the producers don't let you leave with the beat. You got to do everything on the spot. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. Like I think of stuff as I'm riding in the car, listening to beats and stuff like that. So, I got a home studio, so I pretty much do everything like on the spot. Like I, vibe to the beat because I think the music could come out better that way.
Yeah.
Some people they might like write a rhyme and try to adjust it to a whole nother beat and it don't sound right.
Nah, it affects your flow. That's the real thing. Like it'll affect your flow when you saying it off the top of the dome and you thought about it versus like writing it down. Not to say, if you write it, that's bad, but when you say it like just naturally to the beat, it's affecting your flow. Also, too, just technically, right? Like MCs will write a rhyme, they'll write it on paper and say the microphone is right here. Yeah. They hold the paper right here. So they naturally do this. They turn and like be reading off the paper and the mic is here. So they ain't talking directly.
Yeah, you could tell like when I hear like certain people, you could hear like he's reading it from the paper. Like even when you look at certain like movies and like well not like really more, but like like the web series and stuff like that. You could tell like some of the actors That's why when I came up with mine, I'm like, I want to do it more natural.
What made you even start like the professional chiller? Like, what made you do that?
One of my friends, Ag, he used to always say that because he always got the shades. He's like, man, you just like too cool for school, man. You just be like professionally chilling. So
Right.
I just shortened it, and then I'm like, yo, a lot of people used to always come to my crib. My crib was like a hangout, and then I just started thinking one day, like, yo, like I started thinking back like shows that I liked as a kid, like in Living Color. I thought it was funny, like, you know what I'm saying, and I think it was like above its time, like.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put all of these characters together and make like a show, and because I always wanted to do my own entertainment. So I look at people like Keenan and Ivory Wayans, Ice Cube. I thought they was dope because even though they act and stuff too, they created their own like Keenan and Ivory Wayans don't really get a lot of credit. Like he put his whole family on, like that's
Whole
crazy.
family on, bro. So
Like 100 of them.
Marlon is that's my dude. We went to school together. Marlon went to Howard.
Oh, he went to Howard too?
And left to go because he said my brother's starting this show. So he left and went, you know what I'm saying, and started working for his brother. And like, you're right, they don't get enough credit. Like I know them personally, right? I've watched his brother put on the whole family, and then the family take care of family on like tiers. Like these ones take care of these ones, take care of these ones, take care of these
it's crazy. Like they got the sons, and I'm like, damn, like
it's little cousins that you won't know if they pop up, but they all over on as extras on Law and Order, and like they all like even the Waynes that you don't know is still they all got SAG cards. Put it that way.
That is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I ain't gonna lie, like and another thing, like also tried to, I'm like, like I know everything went digital. Like before that, I used to do the Real Talk TV DVD, or like Friends did the Cocaine City, Finney did the Come and See the True Stories, Smack This Smack. So I always thought like to find a way, like how you could be in everybody's household without really leaving your household.
Right. I felt like yours though was early and better because number one, those is like, yeah, they document the culture and they are what they are, right? But for you to come out the gate like young black man make an episodic thing that is reoccurring on YouTube, it just caught my eye. And then of course we had that wave of like, yo, everybody want to do. I don't even like when people call them hood movies because to me they just
because I wanted to do something. I didn't want to just like I'm a student, so I looked at what was going on. I'm like, you know what? Let me try to do something like a little different. Let me try to make it funnier. And like I have my grandmother in there, and I'm like, you know what?
Yo, her role, bro. Let me first of all, I love that role. Like that role right there is so real, and it's so like all the characters too. Like my man will always say, "Love is love."
Yeah, Plugger. Like, and the funny thing is, like before that, like he was never into being on camera. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm telling you,
he gotta
because he used to entertain us like you'll be in the crib and just like say some crazy shit, say something funny. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, if you do this, you get on camera, everybody's gonna love you. And
I feel like you put people in the right roles, like
and it's like as I said, like
got the right role, like.
And it opened up, as I said, it opened up a lot of doors. Like as I said, I look at like the long term. Like I built a lot of relationships with you, a couple other people, and now like BET, a couple of people like reached out. So I was like, yo, that's an opportunity because I look at everything like longevity. I never look at stuff for like short. So I'm like, well, damn, I look at like all like Ice Cube films, and I really study it to be like, yo, like even when he did Friday, he shot that whole movie on one block. Like people don't really know. Because I studied like how many scenes he got. He just broke down the house, the inside, outside, across the street, next door, down the block was just the when they went to the liquor store. Everything was, he probably shot that movie in 8 days tops, 10 days tops.
How long it take you to shoot like an episode? One episode of Professional Chiller?
When the first 3, I did it like in 1 day. But then as time go, I try to, we try to get better everything. So it might be like 8 or 9 days. We might shoot like 2 or 3 scenes per, like per day. We don't try to like overwhelm ourselves because the director I got, he's like, he's very passionate. So he wants to do, he's like knit tight. He wants to do every different angle. Like it's a lot of hard work. Like people don't be understanding, like, you know what I'm saying? And like once you start getting a wave, you don't want to just put out. It's like you engineer, so you don't want to just put out like anything, like you want to make sure it's right.
How you balance that too? Because it's like me as a fan, right? When I see I get it. I put out music and people be like a week later they want another album, right? And I'll be like, damn, I just put out an album. But me as a fan, once I end an episode, I'm like, damn, I can't wait till the next. You know what I mean? Professional.
You know what it was? I was filming a movie, so like when the delay was, it was all like on me, and it was a hard balance because now I got a movie role.
Right.
And yeah, Trey, your scene, Trey's the midget. That's the one I was going. My girl,
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Your scenes do take like one or two takes. You're definitely one of the fastest. And it was like to actually doing like, you know, you're in a movie. It's a lot of hard work. It's much harder than people think. Like you might be there 10 hours to do like one scene. It's like, yo. So to try to do that and try to do your web search, it was becoming overwhelming.
Right.
Like I ain't gonna lie to you.
But that speaks to like the tension that you build, how much people look like. Cause me personally, man, like I'm one of the biggest fans. Like I people be thinking like it's
My
weird.
bad,
I don't even be like endorsing and subscribing to a bunch of people's shit. And like everything I subscribe to is like engineering shit, like how to work plugins and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So people will see me make comments and be like, "Oh, what did he pay you to do that?" I'll be like, "Nah, like me and Son ain't even talk. I'm talking about Professional Chiller before me and you even spoke."
That's a fact.
People came to me like, "Yo, well, endorse my joint like that." I'm like, "I don't like your joint. Like, I really honestly like Son's shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate it too, man.
You drew me in with the storyline, with like how, and I'm trying to say it without giving spoilers, right? Because I'm saying stuff that like some people on here might not have seen it, and I want them to like literally go watch it just to see the work. But it's just like the relationships that you build up is not the phony relationships, right? It's like even the man-woman relationships that you build up in there, the arguments that you go through, you know, the example that you set of a father coming home trying to like not just take his son out the street, but actually like get with him and make up for lost time, and like seeing all those things are like what would drive. So his son ain't really just wilding for no reason. We know what drove him to this point, or who, you know what I mean? Those things happen. I'm trying to say it without giving away the spoilers, right?
Nah, you're right.
But those relationships, seeing it from that avenue is just like what draw me in, because that's the real life. That's what I see, you know what I'm saying, in the neighborhoods that I live in. That's the should I say like the interactions that people don't get that cause everything that happened in the hood. So I think those things are like you know what I'm saying, like those things are brought out well in the writing and in the presentation of Professional Chiller. Like besides the fact you got everything else in there, right? Like so it's just like even the concept of like somebody said to me, "Oh, he only got these type of chicks in there," and I'm like, "Yeah, but y'all look at Hollywood and look at the love scene, and ain't nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with him putting in, you know what I'm saying, these women that's like that represent the hood? You know, like this is who."
The hood women need this shit. They got to get their shine too, and plus,
right.
I try to put like real scenarios and real situations. You just put it into like a show, like you know, you see things and you read the news and you see things every day, so you want to try to put that like, you know what? Let me try to throw that in there. You know what I'm saying?
How did you learn how to do the like? That's one of the. How did you learn how to do like even with the like say some of the gun scenes and some of the scenes with his blood and all that? Like, did you like research how to like? Is it that like blood packs? Is y'all just putting shit on there? Like what? How did you learn how to do? I'm saying that to ask that question too, so that people can learn. That's like, yo, if I don't get to go to film school or whatever, where do I go to learn how to do this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm learning as I go, and my director Calico Lou, like. He's so passionate, so dope. Like a lot of them things, he's teaching me. Like I don't, you know, as I said, I be having like the vision, and he just brings it out. Like the ideas, I be like, yo, look, we could do this, and visually, he brings it to life. And they be like, yo, you know, he works magic. Like he know how to do the blood packs. He know how to do things with like computer. Like this computer thing is so crazy,
right?
Like that you could do anything. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you probably could make beats from your phone, all type of stuff. Like. There's all type of stuff that you learn. Like I'm learning that every day, like from these apps and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can learn pretty much how to engineer probably just going on YouTube.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Like when I be having like, you know, stuck on something, I just go to Google, I go to YouTube, and they have like a tutorial on it.
Yep.
And when you think about it, it's like, wow, like technology changed so much like over the years. Because I said when I first started, it was like 05. That's when I was doing the DVD. I was more like hands-on, like you got to go to, you know, each store, sell a DVD, sell a mixtape. That's how you get out there.
Right.
Now you can become a star overnight because you got the internet.
Do you feel like it get clogged up though? Like with like, everybody trying to do, you know what I mean, do certain stories, do you feel like it clogs up like what you trying to do? Because I feel like your joint is quality enough that it's like it sticks above a bunch of other, not to diss nobody, you know what I'm saying? But just like I'm just saying how I feel about your joint is just that it's quality enough to stick above the level of just normal, like it ain't just a regular hood story is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like the way you put it together is really built, like you be building suspense is difficult to do. So it's like the way you build the suspense and the way you leave things off, or like, you know, again, I'm trying to say it without giving spoilers, but it's like certain times somebody gets shot, you don't know if they dead, you don't know if they're alive, you don't know who's on whose side, but that's really the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in fact.
Yeah.
And as I said, like me personally, I'm a fan of everybody's. So even before I started, I watched everybody's thing to figure out what not to do and what to do, because I didn't want I wanted to separate mine from everybody else's. So I noticed people just had just all violence in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, everyone's gonna have, because you know that's like the regular ingredients, like money, sex, drugs.
Right.
So like, all right, cool. What about comedy? Does never go out of style. So if you have people like you throw some comedy into it, how you gonna really lose?
Yeah,
You can't.
nah, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like you
that's
just can't.
That's your real grandmother.
Yeah, she actually just passed in January.
Oh man, God bless the dead.
Man, she died in her sleep. She died exactly how she meant to die. She died with a cup of liquor at a table, a pack of cigarettes, and she was asleep. That's exactly how she always.
She carries so much comedy on there, man. It's so that like.
But I feel like, as I said, I feel like when my grandfather passed 10 years ago, I'm like, damn, because that's the only guy she ever been with. So I'm like, man, I give it like 2-3 years, man. So I figure like having my son and then putting on the show, it kept her alive longer, because now she's looking forward to doing something. Because like older people, they don't really do anything. They just sit in the house. They don't really, what's name. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, that's how I really like look at it. So like me, like I sit in the house a lot, and I just really be thinking like how could you, like how could you do this and do that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't really do that. Like, as I said, even when you look at like artists, they just put out whatever. They don't look at, they don't look at any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's, as I said, like you knew the formula to make it to, longevity. You know what I mean? You're right.
It just be hard work, bro. I work hard, I study, you know what I'm saying? And I try to, you know what I mean, stay as principled as possible in your movements. That's another thing. Like just the principle factor of like who you are as a man and like how you move and like what you do. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing. The longevity is just like not really getting too gassed off of like.
Nah, but you humble as can be. That's why it's so dope, because you know what I mean? For you even to reach out to an upcoming dude, but like, yo, man, your shit is fire. A lot of people,
that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do.
But see, the game is twisted. People see me, and I know they be knowing. I mean, they be like, yo, you look man familiar. So I just be like, all right, man, here we go with this industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect.
That might be people that's uncomfortable with themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
but that's what the funny thing is. That's what I actually figured too. I was like, you know what?
So if I'm secure on what I do and who I am, it ain't nothing for me to be like, yo, bro, that thing is crazy. Like, congratulations on that. Like this is incredible. Like, I'm sitting at home watching something that another black person created. So I'm thinking in my mind, not only am I enjoying the show, but I'm thinking this is the next Robert Townsend. This is the next Keenan Ivory Wayans. This is the next, like, those people that you could look at YouTube all day, but do you apply the information? You know what I'm saying? Knowledge for the gods is step one. Just to know is step one. We're not even, you know what I mean? You didn't even, knowledge, wisdom, understanding is like, we just getting started on the math, bro. We just getting started. Like, how do you apply that? So you applying it and going out there and shooting and creating a show is like, you didn't just get the information, but you applying the information. I could study and be wise all day and read all these books and know all this information, but what am I doing with it?
And the funny thing is, like, me and my friend Spook, that's the one that's on the show, Spook, we talk about that like every day. I'm like, yo, people be having information and they scared to, like, relate. Me, when I have no information, I'm not scared to, like, yo, just like how you just giving me knowledge and always give me game on certain things. And like, yo,
Right.
man, look, you're doing in the right direction. You could do this, you could do that. And I respect it because I'm like, damn, a lot of people not doing that.
Right.
Like,
You
you know
know,
what I'm saying?
my OGs used to call it mental masturbation. Like people that just want to act like they smart or they know something and they just want to keep rattling off shit to be like, I'm smart like that. What does that mean? The purpose is to take that and apply it to life and to actually move and to do something. Or when we talk about economic empowerment, it shouldn't just be a word. It got to be actual actions of like, yo, get with your peoples and start investment groups. Like me and my homies, like my freshman year dudes that was with me at Howard before the music stuff, right? This ain't even like my whole crew was Tracy Lee and the Reeks and like
Tracy Lee. I
yeah,
forgot.
like
Yeah, I forgot he was there too, right?
yeah, that was my whole crew, right? So
Tracy Lee
I'm
was
doing
tough
parties,
too, man.
he doing his thing or whatever, but I got a crew of people from freshman year that's all black professionals, right? Graduated Howard, one's a lawyer, one's a doctor, you know what I mean? He's like the head dude, I forget what you call it, but like say if somebody gets shot or whatever, he's the first person on the scene. He's the doctor on the scene that's telling you like what angle the bullet came, where the blood splatter went for the, you know what I mean? Like he's that guy, but he's over the whole thing in DC, right? These is another one of my dudes own construction company. So instead of us just sitting there talking about this, like we started looking for properties and being like, all right, let's put our money together and let's start this investment group, right? We could start small. We could buy, you know what I'm saying, a property that's like $150, you know what I'm saying, 150,000, so that it's on, we just testing the waters. We're gonna set the companies up. And for each of us, that probably ended up after you go through whatever you're gonna go through, that's probably like 7.5 for each of us. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, we started an investment group. Then we find another property and we like, okay, let's take the money. Instead of all of us taking the money from whatever happened, put that back into the company, right? Eventually to where we get to a point to where we like, this ain't really for us. We cool. This is for our children. So if I can have a lump sum of money that I know is just keep building. By the time I'm gone, then my kids can dip into that and be like, I didn't know my dad had this, you know what I mean? Extra $2 million sitting over here for all of us. Because I never touched the money. Yeah, that's the real thing. It's just like, how do you build with your people? And people think it got to be like this super investment group. It don't really got to be. It just got to be about y'all being serious and know what y'all doing. It don't cost nothing to go down to the clerk's office and make an LLC. You can do that online.
You go to LegalZoom.
Yeah, it's easy.
Right. Yeah,
Easy to make an LLC.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about the future. They think about right now. And you can see it like right now, like if people would have been thinking like, now look, people.
But I be trying to tell my young boys that's like 21, 22. I'm like, yo, you put in a hard 5 years of you not touching the money, you grinding, not worrying about, yo, I'm about to go out here and spend this money at the bar and I got to look like this when I step into this club. 5 years. And you'll be set. You'll be set. Then I be really trying to school them like, bro, don't be out here and reach 30 with like no kids and you got a little bit of paper. That little thing you was worried about at 21 trying to attract like so-and-so chick, turn 30 with some paper with no kids and watch what happens. You gonna be the man, like you got a house, you got a car, you set up, you got a 401k on your own.
Facts.
Watch how attractive that is to a woman at 30 years old.
Fact. That's it.
Not your chain, not your car, like you really having your life straight and being set. That's really because that's really what it's about, is making sure that you're good for the rest of your life.
No, that's a fact.
You know
That's what's called generational wealth.
Yeah, and again, I'm saying that from the standpoint of like I didn't make a lot of mistakes, but little mistakes that I did make. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could correct them and be like, yo, I spent money on stupid shit. They don't even matter. It don't even matter at the given time. You know what I'm saying? Like versus like now I'm 46. If you still fucked up at 46, you look like a bum. Kids don't respect you. Women don't respect you. The business world don't respect you. Like, what you been doing all this? What have you done with your time?
Just wasting time. You just out here. You in jail on the outside, pretty much. You doing a bit on the outside. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. You think about it,
that's the J line where he be like, yo, Emery passed y'all, he did a bid. Like, Yo, he just went and did these many years, came home and got on his Grizzly and was just like, yo, I'm boom.
My boy said, he said, what you supposed to do if you got felonies?
If you got felonies, you can create your own world. And I'm glad somebody asked that question, because it's not just about you going out and getting a job in this system right here. This is the best time for independence. This is the best time for you to be a producer. This is the best time for you to create a product, right? Whatever your skill level is, what are you good at? That's what the number one thing is. You got to be honest with yourself about what are you good at? What is that thing that you could wake up every day and say, yo, I'm happy to do this thing, right? My peoples was just like, yo, figure out what you love and then figure out how to get paid for that thing, and you'll be happy all day. But to be specific to our brothers and sisters that have gone through the system, that because you got that thing that you got to check, I'm a felon when you try to go for a job, as you trying to get certain jobs, start building on what it is that you want to do on your own. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can look at a job as a job, and you can look at a career. My job, I used to have a job that was waking up every day, standing up in Georgetown at the Georgetown Marriott saying, welcome to the Georgetown Marriott, how can I help you? That was my job.
Yeah, because I always looked at,
it wasn't my career. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this, and this is real talk. I'm saying this from somebody who had a baby at 22 years old. Before I'm on, life got real. No longer can I be out here broke. I'm doing parties, and regardless, I'm saying I can't rely on these promoters, so I got to get me a regular. I always had a regular job, right? So I get me a job at the Marriott. I already know going in, this is just a job, versus my coworker who was going to school for hotel management. This is his career, right? You got to understand the difference between job and career. You taking the money that you make off your job and you putting that towards your career. I don't care if that's selling t-shirts. The art of the flip is the art of the flip. That's the thing that, like, people miss, because they tried to make, like, what Dame was saying when that classic thing when he was on the Breakfast Club, right? Where he was skipping steps, but what he was saying in the core of it was right? Like, try to be your own entrepreneur. But the art to being an entrepreneur, to starting to be an entrepreneur, is the art of the flip. It's
because it's like, I understood what he was trying to say, but it's like he skipped something.
So here's the part that he skipped, and I'll give it to you easy. It's what Prop Joe was trying to teach you on The Wire. Buy for $1, sell for $2. Now, when you get that $2, put both of them $2 back into the business. Now you got $2 that you can make $4.
Oh, okay.
Now take that $4 and take $1 out and go buy groceries and put $3 back in. Now take that $3 and make it $6. It's the art of the flip. You got to keep putting back into your business, but where you getting that money from is your job. I don't care if you pick up trash. I got a cousin that gladly, he did more years in the penitentiary than he ever did outside. Matter of fact, he's just about evening up now, about the age of 50, of the amount of time he's been out and the amount of time he's been in the penitentiary. And gladly went and got a CDL, drives trucks, and started putting that into the fact that New Jersey is about to legalize the weed. So let me get into that game and figure out where I can be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's taking the CDL that I can get. Well, what can I do as a felon? Okay, I can go get the CDL. I can get a commercial driver's license.
Definitely can get that.
And I drive these trucks, and I'm putting this money back into this. I'm saying, teaching you the art of the flip. The flip is the hustler take his money and puts it back into the business. That's the part he was skipping. But in order to do that, you may gotta have a boss for a second. You may just gotta go pick up trash. I don't care.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that I was like, you know, I understand, like, you know, like, everybody got to be their own boss. They should be their own boss, but like, okay, you have to start somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere. Like
that. Let's break it down so that the hood can understand it. Let's say I'm a barber, right? Yeah. I'm my own boss, but the true definition of a boss means I have clients and I have employees, right? So if I'm a barber, and I need to get as many clients as I can to maximize my money. So guess what? When you sit in my chair and say, I want my hair cut this way, you my boss at that moment. You telling me what to do because you my client. Stop looking at it like the boss is sunning you, right? You are the boss. They're not sunning you. They're a client, which goes back to that statement of saying, yo, the customer's always right. Meaning, as a barber, if you sit in my chair and go, yo, I want lines all through my head. Da, 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 da. I'm supposed to go, yo, I don't think that's going to really look good. But if you go, yo, that's what I want, and I'm paying you $30 to do that, then that's what I'm going to do. You have control. That's not the man sonning you. Now, you did your job. The reason people going to come to you is because you're an expert at what you do. He cuts hair really well. His word, you know what I mean? His haircuts have got around Queens enough that he the nigga you supposed to go to get your hair cut. But everybody that's sitting in his chair is clientele.
Facts.
He the boss. He the boss. That's how you got to look at it. Don't look at it like, yo, I'm being told what to do by nothing. No, you step into somebody's organization. You could be learning. Not only you getting paid, but you learning how that organization works. Real time. You're getting valuable information if that's something you want to get into. You could work in the mail room of whatever corporate place you want to work in. But how much are you going on the internet reading about what's going on in the very building that you work in? Yo, I work in so-and-so, right? Boom. Let me go on the internet and see what's going on. So that if I meet somebody in the lunchroom, I can have a conscious conversation about this company and other companies. Guess what? I may got an idea that may help that company. I could say that to somebody that work in there, and hopefully that person is going to be, you know what I'm saying, man enough or woman enough to say, yo, this person right here is who I got the idea from. They know what they're talking about.
Facts.
You could be working in the mailroom doing that. The people that was in Def Jam in the mailroom that understood what was going on, that's the people that moved up.
I know a lot of them is executives now.
Right. We go from look at Shari. Shari, who runs is a co-president right now of Rock Nation. She started out as an intern for us. She started out as an intern.
That's crazy.
She's a co-president right now.
She worked her ass off.
That's what it is. So it's just like you could do that. You could do that in everything. I'm just addressing because that's a great question of like, what do I do if I'm a felon? Because so many of my people is affected by that. And you can't just look at it like, oh, I got to go get the regular job. This is the time right now. If you don't know how to do it, some of your peoples know how to do it. That's the other thing. Reaching out to everybody and not being scared to go, yo, I don't know how to do this.
That's a fact.
Plenty of times I'll be like, yo, I'm not, when a lot of the internet stuff started coming along, I say about like 10 to 8 years ago, right? When a lot of the like, yo, you got to have a presence online in order to exist. I started going to all my—
You know what the funny thing is, right? Not to cut you off.
Yeah. No.
Chuck Wilson was the first person to tell me that, the one that owns Maybe Grand. Because he used to tell me this in 2006. He's like, oh, think digital. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, because you know, he was one of the first people that wanted to sign me. And he used to sit in his chair, he's short, so like his feet are like a dangle, like his feet not even hitting the ground. All he does is be on the internet all day. So he said, yo, I want you to be an artist and I want you to be an A&R as well. So it's like, if you have 5 artists to pick, who would you pick? So, you know, I picked like Ransom, Gilly the Kid, French Montana, Remo the Rap Star, and somebody else. He never heard of none of them. He called me back the next day, said, yo, can you set up a meeting with Ransom and Gilly? I'm like, wow, you never heard of them, you tell me. Never heard their music or nothing. Went to YouTube, you see how many views they had. You know, at the time, Ransom and Joe Blunt was beefing and Gilly was beefing with Lil Wayne. He's like, they got 300,000, 400,000 views. I want to sign them. I said, yo, this is nuts. I said, so you don't want to hear none of their music or nothing? He said, for what?
It's attention.
I said, yo, I said, wow. And now
that's
look.
The sad part. That's the sad part about it, but it's gotten to a point where it's like, it's attention.
Because everybody now is like, a lot of the execs, they don't want to do no type of work. They just going by the views.
Exactly. So you that's another part that I tell you too, man. Like don't never be scared in this thing to really question what somebody do. Because a lot of people ride off of past success and don't really know what's going on. And people be listening to them, and it's like, it's a whole different world from when was the last time you were successful? Like, what do you really know? But people got names, so it's like, yo, you did that 20 years ago. Like, what is you doing now? You know what I mean? Like, do you understand today? Do you understand where we are in this digital market? Do you understand, like, what you have to do to be successful today? That's why I'm always connecting with the youth and always studying and being like, yo, bro, I used to ride a train, listen to what the kids was doing, like, on a train, what they listening to, what they into. That was my thing. Just jump on a train and just listen. Because people don't, they look at numbers, they look at this, they look at that, but you will miss like, okay, this thing is bubbling in Brooklyn, and I know the DJs out in Brooklyn, so they telling me I gotta go get the Bobby Shmurda record way before it hit radio, right? They telling me I gotta go get certain records that's bubbling in the city before it happened. So it's like, you can't rely on the person that's just like, and now, don't get me wrong, it's some of them people from 20 years ago that do know what they talking about and are good people and do got good ears. I'm saying you got to vet that for yourself and don't just rely on somebody's name. Like, figure out, not only do they got a name, but do that work for you. What they did may not work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's just one particular instance where it worked, and then they kept going. So you got to do that due diligence, or doing the thing of being like, yo, do I want to be rich or do I want to be famous? Do I want to be just super known with no money, or do I want to have a lot of money and be less known, like control myself?
That's exactly. I'd rather have more money and being less known.
And when I say less known, I'm saying to the point where there's some famous people out there that can't see like Tech Nine money, that can't see Freddie Gibbs money, that can't see, like, I'm talking about people that's above ground, they known, but they may not be as popping as the biggest artists, but their pockets is great because of the fact that they do it themselves.
Facts.
And if you do it yourself long enough, then you become Griselda. Then it's like, yo, we've been doing this so long by ourselves. Now, when I step into the conversation and have the meeting, if you ain't talking a certain number, I'm walking out. And you already know that. So you got to come with the right number.
That's a fact. Have to. I mean, I think a lot of people, they more or less caring about being known. I always tell people, like, the finances got to add to the litness. Everybody concerned about being lit, but the finances got to add to that. Got to match that.
The being people, again, this is like when I say to, like, my brothers, you know what I mean, that when we build and they can hit me with the math real quick, but I'm like, yo, how do you extend that? It's Jizza when he said, I seen brothers quote mad plus degrees, lit professing ass niggas can't feed their own seeds.
Damn.
What good is the information if you ain't dealing with it? So that's my point, is like taking that information and going further with the information is the point. So what are you doing with it? So make a decision and make a conscious decision, knowing the most information that you can know. Like, yo, if I sign with this label, that means that I gotta go do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Here's what they bring to the table. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe all I need to do is get you to promote whatever it is. So I may need to just sign with a popping promotion company. Maybe all I need to do is go sign with, like, say, a ICM or something like that, right? That builds artists as a booking agent. So you'll try to guess why, like, certain people that you know is popping ain't on these festivals or some of the bigger stages, or ain't in certain and you see other people that you be like, yo, I know Duke, but his music ain't that good, but he everywhere. He went and got the right booking agent.
Facts.
You see, like those sort of things, like setting up your own tour, and then how you conduct yourself while you out there. If, let's say, you as an independent artist, you get a booking agent. If the booking agent is the only person talking to the promoters, you losing. When you get to that specific place, you want to get that relationship with that promoter. You want to get his phone number. You want to understand who he is in the city. You want to be the one that come through, show good business. You had a good time, but you ain't fucked the hotel up. You ain't, you know what I mean? You came through with respect. You understood how to carry yourself in a certain city. So that promoter is going to want to do business with you over and over and over again. That's part of my longevity of being booked as a DJ. I've had promoters look at me and be like, yo, Goo, it's only you in Dubai? You showed up by yourself? Yeah, it's just me.
You don't need a whole entourage
I
when you
ain't got
picking up
20
that
niggas
bag.
with me. I came to do a job. I came to tear this motherfucker down, and then I'm out. That's it. I'm not trying to steal nobody, girl. I'm not trying to, like, I don't give a fuck about nothing, nigga. How much was we agreed upon? I'm coming in to tear this shit down, and I'm out. Do I have a great time? Yeah, but it's because I built a rapport with people across the years, and I know how to move in cities. I would never go to a city and disrespect what's going on there. There's certain situations that I've been in a million times where I walk into a small town, there's local hustlers in there, they got the VIP popping, and the promoter's about to kick all of them out of the VIP for me to sit there. And I'm just like, nah, don't kick them out. Matter of fact, I'm going to give the 8 bottles that you just gave me for free. Matter of fact, send a bottle of champagne and a bottle over them, say what's up. Now you done squash that whole shit. Now he's in Sandusky, Ohio. He's the nigga in Sandusky. All he gonna say, yo, Goose showed me love all day. The wrong way to do it is to come in there and be like, I'm the nigga tonight. Boom, 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 and kick them niggas out. What these niggas doing in my section? Blah, blah, blah. Now you done made hate. Yeah, and they like, who the fuck he think he is? It's how you move.
That's a fact.
Now I got dudes, I'm talking about not just in every state, across the world, that's like, yo, nah, when son came here, he was wild respectful. He understood who we are. He showed us love. He stopped and took pictures.
The thing froze. Yo. The thing had froze. Oh shit. I get Google back in here. Gotta get Google back up in here. Wow, he definitely broke the net with none but facts. I know I think something happened to his phone. Yeah, somebody probably called him. Nah, he definitely spitting the real. Yeah, he definitely breaking it. He definitely bringing it now with that one. A lot of people never even heard Guru talk before. Let's see if we get him back in here. Yeah, he definitely broke the net with a lot of gems, man. Or I'm glad everybody was able to tune in. If y'all got any questions, you gonna come back in. If you got any questions, man, make sure y'all ask him. Word. Word. I appreciate it, man. Gurus, man. He's definitely a real one. Definitely different, man. Yeah, ain't really much for him to really be talking about. Like, you know, he do his job and that's, you know. Oh, here you go. He coming back in. Yo.
My brother.
I know somebody probably called or something.
Oh, I thought they kicked us off or whatever. My bad.
Oh, they might have. I mean, shoot, everybody's saying you giving them raw game, man. Like, cause you know, a lot of people never really heard you talk before.
Nah, that's real game. That's how you move. Like that sort of thing is like how I was taught. You know what I'm saying? Show respect. Now, if somebody disrespect you or whatever, why you know what I mean? Handle your business. Like do what you do. But you got to come with that certain respect. That's like if somebody step into your hometown. I've seen it a million times. Like all we ask for, like I'm in North New Jersey. All we ask for is that you come with respect. That's it. Just respect who we are.
You know,
and we're gonna show you love.
Too.
But if you come with that disrespect, it's gonna cut off all your money. It's not smart business.
They asked a person on live asked why you didn't play basketball at Howard after being an all-state basketball player.
That's a good question.
Wow,
So
I figured you probably played ball because you're high.
Let me tell you, I had 50 scholarships, and that's not even an exaggeration. And let me frame it so people can understand really what that is, right? I had some like Division I schools that wanted me, but mainly Division II. I was set right for Division II. My grades was impeccable, right? And I could ball. Like my main thing was defense. I'm 6'5", I'm tall, I'm lanky. My defense was impeccable, but I went through all my trips with the NCAA, and it was like I started to see the business of college sports, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Plus, the music at that time became so important that it was like I won't be able to do music if I travel 2 times a week playing basketball games. Like that's how important music was to me. Basketball was something I did for fun and I loved the game, but then when I got to that college level, it became a business. And
yeah, you know the funny thing is I felt the same way because you know I played basketball, went hard and it was real good. Right. My grades my grades wound up getting decent. I had to do a 5th year and go to prep school for a post grad. I just couldn't get the score, so I had like a couple D1s, and like since I couldn't get the score, I just wound up going D2, and I felt the same. I just actually was telling my friend he started the same thing. Like I knew after the first week, a week and a half of being on campus, I knew I wasn't gonna be playing like long term because it was like it's business now. It wasn't fun no more.
Right. And believe me, I
You know
sat in
what
the
I'm saying?
stands sometimes at Howard and I was like, man, I wish I was on the court. You know what I mean? Because like I be seeing them lose sometimes. Like our football team was the shit. Our basketball team needed help when I was there, right? So I was just like, I wanted to get on the court, but it was like music was that important. I was on a mission. Like the very first day that I got to Howard, I went to the student radio station to get a show. I didn't even unpack my room.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, and I immediately went to the radio station like I'm here. Like this is what I came here to do. That was my first thing, period.
Yeah, it was good, bro. So I mean, how? So was it mostly math? Like majored into like engineering? Like what's
No,
the?
no. I majored back then. I majored in communications. So
Yeah, that's what I did too. Mass media
yeah,
communication.
I majored in communications with a minor in business. So back then, even my high school, I went to a Catholic high school. And the dope thing about my high school back then, and we talk about I went to high school in '88. We had a television studio in our high school, old school, with you had to do everything on tape. You know what I mean? Like, but we had a real television studio in my high school, so we didn't never have like homeroom announcements. You know what I'm saying? We made like sort of like an ESPN sort of news broadcast for the announcements. Like we have to go out and film all the sporting events and do like clips, and it really taught me how to produce television. Wow. That's what I was going to school for. But then it was just like music was my love. Engineering was the thing that I was super into. So I just try to combine both of them.
So how was you able to get next to Hov? A lot of people probably want to.
That was through Bleak. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, I came to New York and I was working for Derek, right? So I was in DC working for Chucky. He did like, you know, this is after Chucky done did the Mary J. My Life album. This is after he done did all the bad boy shit. He's starting his own label.
Chucky Thompson?
Chucky Thompson. Yeah. Like super big mentor for me. Not only just in terms of like giving me sessions, but as a big brother, this is like the person that's teaching me to live in this sort of lifestyle. Again, like not only just what I was saying about getting checks, but just like how to live, how to present yourself. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to take Chucky's 4.6 back when them joints was just like super new and super hot and just sit in front of the club and front in Chucky's. Like that's how close me and Chucky was. Like we'd get done in the studio, I'll drive him home, and then I'll drive to the club and sit in front of the club in his car because he had the new 4.6, and I was just doing it as a like 19-year-old. Like it was ridiculous.
So Bleak introduced you to Jay, and you've been with Jay ever since.
Yeah. So I was working for the Mad Rapper. Then I got with this woman L'Oreal. L'Oreal like you can't minimize how important she was at that point, right? So she was a A&R administrator at Def Jam. So what she figured out was like, yo, if I'm putting all the engineers on the session, she started managing engineers. So she was managing Doro, right? Remember Doro?
Oh yeah, he'd be with Clue.
Desert Storm. That's the beginning of like Fab and all of them. You know what I'm saying? Doro was all of that. Him and Clue, they ran Desert Storm. You can see Doro in the backstage documentary with Clue, right?
I know Doro.
So she was managing Doro, and I was like, all right, if she got Doro popping, I'm gonna go with her. The very first day I got with her, the next day she had me in a session with DMX. The next day.
So that was your first biggest artist you recorded?
Nah, but with Chucky, I was recording a lot of like bad boy stuff, Mary stuff, messing with like Quest and them.
But you know, DMX was big at one point. He was large.
Yeah, no, but that's what it was. It was like that's how fast she got me rocking. Then my man Pat was there, Pat Viala, a bunch of people like it was so many people that she had, but we was all young black engineers. So then somebody called in sick or was having a baby one day. I went to go work with Bleak. Me and Bleak just struck the brother relationship. Like that's my guy to this day. Like I'll step in front of a bullet for Bleak. Like that's my dude like that. Like that's my brother. So, and not even just like, oh, that's my brother, like how people say that's my brother. So Bleak was the one, you know what I mean? I was doing a session for him. Jay came over and seeing how I work, and that's how me and Jay got together. And then we've been together ever since.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, long time, man. Long time. Like working with Jay, again, getting these lessons from, and then once you get to the money, it's like the very first thing I did with Jay, and I was proud of this. You know what I'm saying? I always tell the story of like, as soon as I got some money with Jay, the very first thing I did was buy a house. And I remember calling him that day, be like, yo, I just closed. And like how proud I was of like, I didn't fuck this money up. Like I went now, my family, no matter what, my 4 children, they always got something.
Nah,
that was my very first thing.
Sure, you was even in I think it was Paper Soldiers. I think I seen you in.
Yeah, that's when Dame was going hard with the movies.
And you know, it's so good. Somebody asked today, like, why Jay never mess with the movie side?
I don't know if that's his. I don't think he has ambitions of being an actor or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think his thing is, if you look at the moves, it's providing a platform, right? Providing a platform where like, okay, like if you got Tidal, you know what I mean? We can put movies up on that. I can provide you the platform in order to do that. I don't know if he necessarily wants to do that. You know, and I can't speak for his mind. You know what I mean? He could do whatever he want to do. But so far from the moves, the way I judge it, I see him as sort of an executive producer. This is why we do the Khalif documentary, or why he messes with like James Samuel and a lot, you know, doing movies with him and things of that nature, where it's just like, okay, my people that are in that space, let me facilitate the space for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact. What advice you have for like aspiring artists? I mean, because you know from the inside.
I say right now is to get your team together. The best thing is make your music. You got to be dope, but to get your team together, to fill in. You know what the mistake people make? People are around like-minded people, right? So like you like a certain thing, your friends like sort of the same thing, and sometimes y'all do the same thing, or y'all good at the same thing because you hang around people that think like you. Sometimes you got to find people that fill in the holes of the things that you don't like, or the things you can't really do or don't do well. Meaning, if you want to be the artist and you want to be, you know what I'm saying, the creative person, somebody got to be the paperwork person. Somebody got to be the person that know how to go down and fill out the paperwork to start an LLC so that you can get paid properly. Somebody got to be the manager. Somebody got to know publishing. And these are all positions and jobs that say we start out together as homeboys and I get it right for you. Now I could do it for somebody else and I created a business out of this.
Facts.
That's what it is really filling in them blanks, because if you're going to be independent and be a business, then you got to think like a business. You can't think like, yo, I'm doing homeboy business. No, you got to do real business. So IBM ain't going, yo, let me just put on so-and-so. We got that in our blood because we want to take care of our peoples, which is what we're supposed to be doing. But you got to analyze what your man can really do. What is his value? What does he do well? And if you can't figure out somebody for each position, you got to go outside of your direct click. That's when you link up with somebody else and be like, yo, find me somebody who know how to do this really well. I guarantee you, if you was to put the call out and say, yo, I need a sister that know how to write the business proposal. Can you sit down with me for an hour? Let me talk to you in layman terms and tell you what the business is that I want. And she's going to transform that into something that the bank can understand and get you a loan.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
That's your resources.
You got to just surround yourself with a whole bunch of, assets, not liabilities.
Yeah, and admit that you don't know something. Like when I'm reading something, like somebody give me a contract and it's a word in there I don't know, I don't have no problem going, yo, hold up, let me look this up. We got phones, we got all, like, people don't want to, they in a situation where they don't want to look a certain way, like, I don't know what's going on. No, I'm not signing this until I know every word on here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We learn legal words all the time, but we learn them in terms of criminal shit. We know all the legal terms when it comes to criminal cases. Every big word that got to do with somebody being locked up, we know all them words because we've been through it before. But we don't learn the business words.
Yeah, because them contracts, even if it's 5 pages, man, I was sending them to like 2-3 different lawyers. I'm like, it'd be like one little word that'd throw everything off. Like when they show me when they show me the reds and stuff like that, I'm like, and they breaking it down. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's meant to be that way. That's why they do it that way. So it's like I can start using these words, and then the words can have various meanings, so that later on when we arguing about this contract, I can start to sort of lean towards this meaning of the word versus this because it benefits me this way. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to really understand that information, and you got to understand what lawyers are you sending this to, because your lawyer may be doing another deal with that same lawyer about somebody that's bigger than you.
Facts.
So it's that balance of what lawyer did you get?
Nah,
that's the whole thing. When I say balance, I mean you want a lawyer that's big enough that he has contacts and has some weight, you know what I mean, in the industry, but you also don't want to take somebody that's so big that has 30 big clients that now you become the fifth thing thought in their day.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? They not even think about, they think about the big client as soon as they wake up. So it's just like you got, again, it's a balance. It's a balancing game of, do I want the manager and the person that's going to be about me all day? Or am I balancing, like, this person got certain clients that can get me into certain doors? You got to just, that's something you got to figure out for yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I see a lot of like artists, they be thirsty and they get jerked and they start complaining like 10 years later.
And I get the sentiment. Like, I understand what it is. I mean, I get the feeling. Like, I know brothers that's like, yo, this is what I want to do, but reality of life kicks in where it's like, yo, I got the baby moms and I gotta feed my kids every day, and I have to produce a certain amount of money every month as I'm trying to do this thing. So if somebody come and put $100,000 check in front of me and you're like, oh my God, it's the biggest payday I ever got, of course I'm taking this. But you don't realize that what you giving away is worth millions. You really giving away millions. You're getting 100,000, but you're giving away millions. Because you don't know what that's going to be worth over time. So that's why you set your, again, this is why, like, the getting of a regular job or getting a gig will set you up to a certain point where you just not starving, where it's just like, yo, I got to take whatever they give me.
Now you're absolutely right. And you know, for those that don't know, a lot of people don't know that you do beats too. I forgot to
oh yeah. Production is heavy. I'm sitting over here trying to download some samples now, man. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, it be in between the mixing. So I mix so much that it's very rare that I get to like sit down and just start producing and doing my thing. You know what I mean? I got a group and all that, but it's just like the mixing thing be taking up so much time. And then I'm out here in LA without all my equipment. You know what I mean? I got stuck out here when the whole thing of we can't move nowhere happened. You know, I'm cool and all that. I got a spot out here, but it's not like being at home in front of your own system with everything, my wall of records and all that.
Word. That's definitely, there are a lot of people. And plus, you know, you're definitely going to be on my project June 7th.
Nah, absolutely. Whatever you need from me, bro, let me know, man. I'm here for you.
You know, the Professional Chiller 3 EP, you'll definitely be on there. Because a lot of people don't know that you do beats, so, you know.
Yeah, nah,
you like a jack of all trades.
We'll get into it on there.
Yeah. So, let me see. We about to get kicked off in 1 minute, so I'm about to go back on. Because, like, you only could be on there for like an hour, then they kick you off, so I got like a minute remaining. Any questions?
No doubt. We'll do this. I'm gonna send this email out real quick. Somebody just requested an email from me that I gotta send. You get the questions together. I'm gonna chime back on in less than 5 minutes.
All right. So, you know, as I said, you know, we appreciate, you know, all the people that's logged in, man. They appreciate all the jewels. Because, you know, a lot of people never heard you speak before. Lord Finesse.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Lord Finesse growing up, man, that's my favorite artist, bro. He's the king.
Shout out to Lord Finesse.
Like, I used to watch Return of the Funky Man and all that stuff, like, as a kid. I was, like, 9 years old. People, he always been, like, underrated. They never gave him his just due, man.
Now, let me tell you
Finesse is the guy.